Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story, because nobody's heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. Like I said, I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diets. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. Cheeseburgers were cute. Folks would probably say you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, that whole story is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear, sweet old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down to my neighbor's house to borrow a cup. Now this neighbor was a pig. He wasn't too bright either. He built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind builds his house out of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called him. Little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go back home. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! You're not going to believe it. This guy's house fell down. Right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. Well, I'm not going to just leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw. So I ate him. Think of it as a cheeseburger, just lying there. Well, I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I decided to take a walk down to my next neighbor's house. Now he was the first guy's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He built his house out of sticks. Well, I rang the bell on the stick house. No answer. So I called him. Little pig, are you in? You know what he answered? Go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth this time, but I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! You're not gonna believe this, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. Wolf's honor. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Well, you know food will spoil if you just leave it lying out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full. My cold felt better. But I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. So I decided I'd try one more time. Walked down to the next neighbor's house. Now this guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the door and I called him. Little pig, are you in? Do you know what that rude little porker answered? He said, "Go away, Wolf! Don't bother me again!" How rude! He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he couldn't let me borrow just one little cup for my dear, sweet old Granny's birthday cake. How rude. Well, I was about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead. That's when I felt another sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed again. Achoo! Do you know what that pig said to me? "And your old granny can sit on a pin." Well, normally I'm a pretty calm fella, but when someone talks about my grandma like that, I go a little crazy. So when the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down the guy's door. The whole time I was huffing and stuffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. Well, when the news reporters heard the story about the 2 pigs that I'd eaten for dinner, they figured a sick guy borrowing a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed it up with all the huffing and puffing and blowing your house down. That's it. That's a real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar.